Welcome to What's Happening, where we focus on events happening right here in the City of Lynn. Here with me from the Hes Hope Foundation, we have Lorraine DePietro, Executive Director. Lorraine, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So we're here today to talk about Suicide Awareness Month, which is the month of September.
Yes.
Suicide Awareness Month is really to kind of create some awareness about how preventable suicide is, understanding the signs, understanding what you should do if somebody ever approaches you and demonstrates these signs. Before we get too much into the event and the month itself, let's talk a little bit about you and your responsibility. Lorraine?
Okay. Hi. Well, as you said, my name is Lorraine DePietro. I'm originally from Lynn, and I had a daughter who died by suicide 4 years ago, so that makes me uniquely qualified to be doing what we do. And as executive director, working with our board, the other main members are my two sisters, Leslie and Kristen, and we set up events throughout the year for workshops, health fairs, going to schools, parent groups, youth groups, any type of organization that would like to have us come in and talk about suicide awareness. And education is the key for that.
Hes Hope Foundation, you can find more information at www.haleyshopefoundation.org. You can also give Lorraine a call if you're ever having some trouble at 207-313-6298. And Lorraine, this is what really spoke volumes to me, is we're out in, before the program, we're mocking up the show, and we're talking about all the detail. And I said, is there a hotline? And you said, no, I field calls. And you're at home fielding these calls through the late hours and the wee hours of the morning. I mean, that for me, that's like, wow, that's pretty incredible. But for you, it's just the day-to-day.
Yes.
So, I mean, tell me, what's the importance in doing that?
Well, when it comes to youth, and that's who we primarily work with, excuse me, they are an impulse group. That's the way teenagers are. And 90% of suicides are given less than an hour's thought, and 95% of those are less than 5 minutes. So getting someone through that hump of, I want to die, I want to kill myself, I'm ready to do it, and it seems to happen in the wee hours because that's when you're tired and you can't think straight. Your body's not letting your mind work at a level of reasonability. So being able to be available in the middle of the night when they're going through this is key. We really need to be there to listen. And I know a lot of the kids who have called, I'm sorry to wake you up. It's okay. They're more important than my sleep. I can always take a nap later. But I can't say that they'd be around if they didn't have someone to talk to. So I've had calls 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, 2, 3 hours long. I've had calls from parents not knowing what to do. Same thing. Friends calling about friends that they think are suicidal, needing to know what to do. So being available 24 hours is very important, and that's very important to me.
It's an incredible sacrifice. It really is. I mean, you live, eat, sleep, and breathe this. And you know what's more astounding is that you're a mother who actually had gone through this yourself. So a lot of people kind of tend to say, oh, this isn't my part. I'm dealing with it too. But I mean, you jumped right in and you said, all right, if I'm going to do anything about this, it's going to be help other people. I want to talk about Suicide Prevention Month. It's September. Briefly, describe for our viewership at home, what's the overall concept?
It is to bring awareness of how epidemic suicide is among all demographics, ages, nationalities, work classes, education levels. It doesn't matter. The stereotypical person people think of as the dark, gothic, sad, depressed, mopey type of person. That only accounts for 5% of actual suicides. The other 95% are regular, everyday people that you wouldn't even suspect. They hide it very well. It's a silent killer because people those who are in distress don't often talk about what's going on to lead them to that. It's never one thing that builds it up. Just like filling up a cup of water, it's never one drop to fill up the cup, but one drop can make it overflow. And that's where the education of what to do and what to look for at that point. And I believe you'll be able to pull up on the screen some tips on how to remember what to do. It's an acronym, Is Path Warm? And I for ideation, suicidal thoughts. S, substance abuse. Path, P, purposelessness. A, anxiety. T, trapped. H, hopelessness or helplessness. And then warm. W, withdrawal. A, anger. R, recklessness. And M, mood changes. Now, it's a combination of all those things. We all go through some of those things. Hormones, stress, the moon cycle. We all go through some of those things. So just because somebody's having a mood swing while being anxious doesn't mean they're suicidal. Watch everything overall. Have they been doing this for a while? Are there other things that put them in a high-risk category? Did they have a traumatic event recently? Do they have a personality like an A-type personality that is an overachiever and they got a bad grade? Were they attacked at school or walking down at the park? Anything like that could be a risk factor. Then you can look for the warning signs. And they give the warning signs, sometimes very subtle, so to watch for them. And don't ever hesitate to ask a person, are you feeling suicidal? A lot of people would hesitate on that because they think they'll put that idea in their head.
Right.
They're already thinking it. And to actually ask them gives them a release that they can be like, oh, I can talk about it now. I can get help. Most people don't actually want to die. They just want their pain or problem to go away. And with youth especially, they're not really thinking it all the way through. They're not equipped at that age to be able to do that. And studies are now showing that children as young as 5 are starting to exhibit these signs and start thinking about it. And it's scary because you wouldn't think somebody that young would do it and it would be brushed aside. And that would be very sad losing. I know there's been losses of children as young as 8.
Oh my goodness. So this is something that we all share, really. I mean, this is part of psychology. Mm-hmm. And really what it comes down to is just traumatic events. I think, you know, at a certain point, we're all a little lost here in society because that biological aspect of us is still attached. Mm-hmm. So we still smell when we don't shower, and we still hurt when our heart is broken, and you know, we're still going to exhibit pain when we whack our head up against something. So that is real, and that is as real as it gets. I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of society and you think like, oh, my goal is to buy a house and my goal is to get a car, those things take time. And once one little obstacle is thrown in your path, it can make that goal seem almost unachievable, and then it becomes undesirable, and then it's just, what is it worth now? So this speaks an incredible amount of volume to me. It seems like the youth, it's a little bit more prevalent, and I remember growing up, it wasn't really hard. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I mean, it wasn't as hard as it is today. The struggles that kids got to deal with, the temptations that they have to deal with, the lack of education that they have to deal with, mainly because it's more or less they're gaining insight from their peers who don't really know anything. Mm-hmm. It's all very eye-opening. September is Suicide Awareness Month. We're here with Lorraine DePietro, the Executive Director of Hes Hope Foundation, and we're here talking about how important it is to be aware of the early telltale signs of suicide. It's not something that, it's something that should be talked about. If somebody is exhibiting or demonstrating these little obstacles, these bits of information that lead to suicide, it's important to discuss it. Lorraine has an incredible story. She had a beautiful daughter, Hayley. Hayley had gone through some struggles in her life and took her own life, and now she's dedicated her life to creating more awareness about suicide prevention. And we're here today to talk about September. You can find more information at Hayley'sHopeFoundation.org. You can also reach out to Lorraine to find more information at 207-313-6298. We got about 3 minutes left in the interview. I want to talk a little bit about just the month of September and what the organization plans to do.
Okay, just offering educational workshop opportunities for any type of group. We prefer age groups of 6th grade and up only because of our experience. And they're free of charge. We will go to a a venue and do our presentation. The message is more important than getting a speaker's fee. And we all share that together. And coming up in November, actually, they don't have it during Suicide Awareness Month, but AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, hosts International Day for Survivors of Suicidal Loss. And we also offer support after the loss of somebody to suicide, any age group, of course. And this is an event we'll hold in Danvers. More information will be on our website for that. That is also free of charge. And it's a time to get together with others who have lost by suicide to share stories, how that person got through, how this person got through, and just a time to be with others who understand, because not everybody understands what it's like. It's different. And grief is different for everybody anyway, but it's when you lose somebody to suicide, it doesn't have that closed circle like other types of losses are. There's an open end, and it's harder for most people to cope with and deal with, and having support is very beneficial. And with the recent suicides around the nation, and primarily here in Lynn, offering support and education is one of our goals, to help the community heal and be able to recover from the travesties that have happened.
That why factor really kind of resonates with those people who have suffered from loss. Lorraine, what you're doing is an incredible service to our community and communities alike. I just want to say thank you from a citizen's perspective for doing what you're doing. You wake up every day and you get stronger. She flew all the way here from Georgia, so we really appreciate her time. Lorraine DePietro, Executive Director of the Hes Hope Foundation. You can find more information at www.haleyshope.org. You can also reach out to her at 207-313-6298. We're here talking about September, which is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. You can find more information on their website. That's it for what's happening from the studio here at LynnCAM TV. I'm Sean Donahue, wishing you all the best.